How's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode as part of our Let's Try series. Hope you guys have been enjoying the series. I would say so far, but really, I know we haven't uploaded it in a while, and it's not really the same standard series as some of the other ones. This is more of I find games I like, games I'm interested in, or just simply, in this case, I guess, something that I've kind of been waiting on for a while, and I know I've talked about it a little bit before on the channel. I don't think we ever played Frostpunk 1 on the channel, but it was a game I highly enjoyed and highly recommended. However, from my understanding of this game, there have been quite a few changes with the way it's played, and I've often heard it referred to as Frost Politics, not Frost Punk, particularly because instead of having a few hundred settlers or survivors, you have tens of thousands you have to deal with. So I'll kind of get into that. Currently, I'm just going through and checking all my settings. Then this is also, I guess, a good time for you guys to see some of the settings as well. I'm not a fan of VSync. I know some people say that there are places for it, but I genuinely just don't. Let's go. Not 30. Let's limited if we can. DLS. Cool. Looks like it's already done most of this, so that's good. Yes. Cool. And then we should be good from there. Ooh, what Twitch integrations does it have? Interesting. Okay, that is really cool that you can do that. So good to know. Well, we're going to start with story. And if you guys enjoy the content, then perhaps we will do a micro series of this. We'll see. Welcome to Frostpunk 2. It is challenging game in which planning ahead is critical and failure is a natural part of the experience. If you're a veteran of the original Frostpunk or enjoy a challenge, you may try your luck with an officer or higher difficulty. Otherwise, we suggest we're going to start a citizen and we'll see how it goes, because it has been quite a while since I played the first Frostpunk. It's not about how many times we fall, it's about how many times we get up. That is true. As Rocky said, it's not about how... Oh crap, what was the quote? It's not about how hard you can get hit. It's I'm gonna butcher it. I am sorry in advance about that. So it's at the prologue. The Wanderers, they came upon the old machine as they always do. When the whiteout hits, they must survive. Okay. So in 1887, the world froze to death. Civilization crumbled. The failing British Empire built generators to support cities of evacuees. And what's funny is that was actually, I think it was the last DLC we got in Frostpunk 1. And it was really nice because it was more or less the prologue to like what happened to the world, right? And so it kind of forced you to try to set up and build the generator before basically everything went to shit. But it was still really good. So whether huddled by a generator or out in the open, Frostland, those that survived were shaped by the ordeal. 30 years later, all have become very different people. It's true. I guess we did skip over cities that would become the last on Earth. That is true. Alright, so difficulty, citizen, challenging endeavor. Still with margin of error, but otherwise demanding. Yeah, we're definitely going to start as citizen, so it looks like there are some different components. There's economy, weather, frostland, and society. We're just going to stay there. Surviving, there's no active cause. Yeah, we're not doing that. Pop-ups, definitely, and we're not going to skip the prologue. Okay. So in case anybody hasn't seen Frostpunk, it's essentially a city builder with definitely a lot of dark undertones of... You have a lot of morality questions about things. So we're going to go through this, and then I'll touch back to the whole morality stuff.
Can you hear us? Captain!
Do you hear us? A generation ago, we fled the crumbling British Empire as the world froze around us. I held New London together. United, we survived 30 years of whiteouts. But the world around us is dead. Empty.
Ripe for taking. The city grows.
Festus.
Merely surviving is not enough. We have to expand. After all, it's us who survived the end of the world. It's us who survived.
Yes. Now what?
Interesting. So that kind of shows us some of the forethought that we had from Frostpunk 1, right? Where and we kind of saw a lot of that in that. And I believe that was one of the trailers they put out where it is that question of, well, what now? We've survived, but what's next? And it's kind of an idea that we've seen before in other shows and other games where you have a society that has fallen, it has collapsed, and usually the first couple seasons, or the first couple missions or games in a series usually are about the surviving aspect, but then at some point the question does come up of, okay, we have survived this ordeal, we have built a community, or we've rebuilt society in some way. Now, how do we go forward, right? And it's that I guess really the true rebuilding of society where, well, population's starting to increase again. Um, Now, how do we think of other things, right? So now we have the luxury of, okay, well, let's start educating people again. Let's start uh, doing public works. Let's start doing things like that, right? And so the morality idea that comes into it is you might have decisions where it's like, okay, we can either save these 10 people who are young, or we can, but it would kill these 20 people who are old, or we can save 10 old people, but it's going to kill 20 young people, sort of thing. So it's some morality clauses like that where it's like, oh, well, we can do option A, but it sucks, it has downsides, or we can do option B, but it also sucks and it has downsides. So there were a lot of those sorts of decisions you'd have to make in Frostpunk 1. Maybe we'll come back and revisit that in another episode of Let's Try. But anyway, the Wanderers. We've been roaming the frozen desert for years. Many of us do not remember a world before the Great Frost. Now another whiteout is coming, and again we've reached the old machine. Again, we will rely on its furnace to provide heat through the storm. So now my question about that is that implying that the whiteouts come in waves, almost to the point where it's where you're seeing periods of time where it's not as cold, it's not as aggressive, that you have to be near the generator, and that you can start to venture out that the world is kind of healing, so to speak, or is getting warmer? Because to me that kind of hints at that. So I don't know if that's going to be something in the game or something in the DLC. We'll see. In the past, we've always made sure that there were enough supplies for the next whiteout, but our numbers have grown through the years. Providing for everyone is getting harder and harder. We must survive. Okay. A little cutscene. Or, no, maybe not. Maybe it's just the intro. There are a lot of new mechanics from the first game, as well as new resources, to my knowledge. I do know that oil is a big thing that they've introduced, that there's some mechanics with that. And then, I can't remember all of them, but we will see. Or we'll get to as many of them as we can in this. Welcome to the prologue. Here you will learn the basics of construction and controls. Waits you in a larger city. Okay, so the old dreadnought remains in pieces under layers of snow, but the scattered wagons still have resources in them. First, we will break the ice to reach one of the oil wagons. Okay, so we're immediately getting into oil. We can turn the dreadnought's furnace to heat us. Okay, we will restart the furnace. Okay, so there's quite a bit, so let's pause. So whiteout arrives in 88 weeks. Once the whiteout hits, we will be locked in and no longer be able to gather food. We must be ready by then or we will not survive. Okay, so we have... I'm assuming just this area to... I like over here and over here, I'm guessing? Okay. So we need a frost break. So this... Frost break. Okay, and we can select... Okay, so there's tiles we can open. Frost break the area. So we want... Oh, no. Okay, so it's a menu. Okay, so we start here, and it looks like we have this area. So let's go here, here, here. And then... I guess that's fine. Oh, okay. Oh, middle mouse click pans the camera around, which is good. Then I guess let's try to go for this. And then... Okay, so that maxes out that. So then... Okay, we don't have any fuel, so let's unpause then. And then WASD moves us around. Okay. So let's turn up the speed a little bit. Oh, do we have to... Oh, I see. Okay. So now we have this area open. And then... Okay, we can build extractors. An extraction district. I guess let's build a heating district. Oh, okay. So then, wait. Is it... So like that? Okay. So it looks like we do have... Interesting. Okay, and then I guess let's just get a food one down. Oh, it's way down there. Okay, I thought it was up here. Okay. And then I guess while we're up here, we do have quite a bit of room, I suppose. So let's go ahead and get that opening. Unpause. Okay, so it looks like we have 3,000 people. Workforce of 1,700. Some scraps we're making. Prefabs. Fabricated building. Second largest build. Okay. So probably just like general materials, I'm guessing. Okay. So then, let's see. Hunger is minor. Disease is minor. Then it tells us extremely increased. Okay. So then, affecting other districts. Okay, so if we can click the furnace and we can turn the furnace on. I will say, I don't like that the menu was like weird there for a second. Okay, so we want to provide basic infrastructure, so we have enough oil to cover current needs, but the cold will still affect our people until they have proper shelter. Okay, well I think we just did that, right? Does it want me to build more? I mean, I guess we can build more. And this is building oil. So then as the thick black liquid oozes through the pipes, our people rejoice. Okay. It will automatically convert the oil into heat. See, because in the original game, I believe you used wood and whatchamacallit, used wood and coal. Oh, that's cool. So you can really get zoomed in there. Yeah, so it does want us to build a second housing district. Oh. Let's go ahead and frost break more of this then. So this will give us pretty good area. Okay. And we have 2 sick. Due to cold, some of our people have frozen to death. Okay, so 30 people froze to death. And then... So it looks like as you expand... So this is kind of cool. So like, what is this supposed to be, like a train of some sort? I think so. I think that's what it was initially. So maybe like a Snowpiercer moment. Okay, we're currently building this. And as you can see, it looks like time does go by pretty quickly. We've established some heat shelter. We must now turn our attention to the incoming whiteout. We must first frost break to the small patches of fertile soil to make sure we have food. Okay, well, how do we do? What is one? Okay. Then I guess let's do that. And then I can't queue another one, can I? Oh, maybe I can. Okay. Okay, it looks like we can only have 2 going at once. Frostbreak to fertile soil, build. There you go. So then food districts. Let's go, you know what, let's build 2. I mean, I don't think it's going to hurt us right now. I know it is the prologue, so we can be a little bit less optimal. What I like is you'll occasionally get a person. So in the first game, you would be able to select your people and like see their names, jobs, and stuff like that. I don't know how intimate you can get with your people in this, in terms of like getting to know their names other than just the occasional pop-up. So we secured our imminent survival. Now we have a stockpile, or now we have to stockpile. Yes, we must be ready. Okay, so we need ideally 40,000 food. Well, I'm gonna see if we can get all the way over there. Is there a way, let's see, steadily rising. Okay, so it tells us how much is available. So we have a demand of 40 and all of it's fulfilled. So let's go ahead and build ourselves some more housing. So it looks like as we expand out, we end up with more stuff and things over there. Okay. And let's go ahead and frost break down here. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So we only have heat on this side, it looks like. Okay, so it looks like you want to build hubs near your other stuff. What's this? An event? Okay, so this is interesting. So this is one of those choices that I talked about. So pouring sand in his hands. We've been here so many times. The soil is depleting. A couple more and there will be no point erecting the hothouses. There will be nothing to grow food on, and the yield is so low, either we pull emergency shifts or tighten our belts. Otherwise, there might not be enough for everyone. So this is typically a choice you get. And so it looks like we do get a person's name, their job, and their age. I'm pretty sure we don't really know this person, though. I'm pretty sure in Frostpunk 2, it's more of a, he's one of your thousands of people, but you really don't get to know him any more than that. Whereas in Frostpunk 1, there was a lot more of, okay, well, I really hope Finn survives because Finn's my gardener, right? So I don't think it was as intimate as like RimWorld, for instance, where you have individual pips who you're like, okay, I really need this guy to survive. He's like key to my survival, but like I don't think it's as personal in this. So we might not be able to fill food stockpiles, or consider asking the wanderers to time belts. Oh, is there no choice? Or is this the choice? I'm confused. Is there just not a choice? Consider asking the wanderers to time belts or install. Oh, okay. Yeah, so there wasn't an option there. I'm mistaken. It appeared as though there was going to be. Okay, so we have 52 weeks left to stockpile. So our current stockpile will be ready in 148 weeks, so we need to definitely get the other food. Instruct the wanderers to tighten the belts or order emergency shifts. I mean, I feel like both, in all honesty, would likely be that. Well, let's see, what else can we do? So we can construct some districts. So let's go ahead and looks like we can't get any more. Okay. So let's go ahead and get at least another food district. We do need some materials. So into the black, burying the dead. We mourn those who've recently passed. It is our custom we take them to the oil pits. We gently lower their bodies into the thick blackness. The fuel that keeps us warm in life likewise preserves us in death. But death also erodes the trust in our leaders. Okay. So this was a big one. So there's trust and relations you have to keep. Because as you go through, you will find that you need to basically keep your people happy, or you end up basically without out a job. This is their mayor. Okay. So let's do some more frost breaking. Let's go ahead and get that. I suppose, I guess we can do that like so. I don't think we finished either one. So triangles might just be statements. Some people already said to lower the food requirement. Interesting. I mean, I don't think we'll be that bad. Let's see. The captain's legacy. One of our frost-breaking crew uncovered the frozen remains of a man in a tattered uniform. His shoulder patch reads New London Scouts, 3rd Platoon. So I'm wondering how many references to the original game we're going to see on this. Probably a lot, if I had to guess. Some of our elders claim it belongs to a military organization, while others argue it has a religious significance. Maybe you have heard of this New London before. We can settle order. So interesting. Is a city of discipline that follows strong leadership and military and squad keep the peace. This will create survive. This will create community which has a very. Okay, interesting. So this has some implications, I think, with the story, but I think it also has implications with... So if anybody has played Frostpunk 1, later on, once your settlement grew large enough, there were kind of two options. You could either go order, where you basically went super militaristic of like, look, we have to do this for the good of everyone, like very harsh punishments, like if you waste food, you die type thing, because wasting food causes everybody to die, right? Or you could go the opposite extreme and go super religious, faith based, where it's like, okay, you know, we have to trust in the generator will provide, type thing. But I mean, to an extent, they both had their ups and downs. And of course, this was a very problematic decision you'd have to make. Do you want to run your settlement on order, or do you want to run it on faith? And of course, both had very similar outcomes. So it looks like this will basically be like, hey, they embraced faith, maybe we should too, I'm feeling. And then this one is, this will create a continuity in which has leaned on either to survive. So it's shrouded in mystery. I'm gonna go with military. I don't know if how it's gonna affect us, but I'm gonna just assume. Go. Okay, so this can supplement. We do need materials though, which is the only issue. Huh, I don't like quite how that does that. Okay, well, let's try to get... Okay, so this is food stockpile. I don't think... Yeah, I don't think that does anything for us. Yeah, we'll see what it does. We'll see what it does. Scholar. Squalor. Okay. Extremely increased by... Yeah. We really just don't have the materials we need right now, which is problematic. Okay, so this is a choice. So anytime it's like this, we have a choice, it looks like. Okay, so each day, the wind grows fiercer. Relentlessly, it beats against our buildings, weakening our structures. The more we build, the more materials we need. This is the world we know. Promise to gather more materials or don't address it. Basically, you don't address it, problems happen. Or bad things happen. So I will promise we will fix it. We're going to fix it by building one of those. Followed. Oh, we need... Oh, okay, so that's why it spends workers. Okay. There's not really anything I can do right now, unfortunately. Other than... Wood remaining, yeah, so it looks like it does give us some registered sick problems. Let our elders go. So, people in the camp are getting tense. They worry we won't gather enough food. Our hunters blame us for ignoring the seal colony and claim they would have been able to provide enough food for everyone. Yeah, that kind of some problems. Volunteer to walk into the frost zone rather than burden. So I'm taking it as elders, not as leadership elders, but elders as in just old people. So of course this is a dilemma, right? Where it's like, okay, well, I didn't do this earlier, so my only option is now I basically let the old people die. It doesn't reduce your workforce because they're not part of it. However, you're gonna feel bad about it, right? So I mean, I'm not gonna resort to that. What are we? Tribalists? Yeah, we just don't have. Come on, we need one more person. I think one person's sick. It's kind of what's screwing us, because we can't expand via snow anymore. Ah. And then this is nearly depleted. To maintain. Okay. So now we are gaining stuff and things. Cool. Alright, so we can pause. Let's go ahead and get a food district. And then... I don't really think we need housing, in all honesty. I think we just need to worry about food. Heat demand increased. Finish district. Yeah, okay. So I think at this point we're just on fast forward mode. So we should be able to get enough food in the time. I genuinely don't know though, because this needs workers. Ideally, if we can get enough workers, we can maybe try to get one more thing. Demolishing that might give us more workers. We will provide heat. Give me the furnace. We're gonna activate overdrive. Well, I mean, we're like there. Okay, so what does a whiteout force us? Interesting. We can install odds. When the whiteout hit the camp, the wanderers were almost ready. That's fair. We were almost ready. We grew hungry in the last days before the howling wind subsided. We could see the bones through our skin, but a miracle strengthened our hope. Yeah. Add the story to our great tales alongside with warnings. Yeah. It's definitely a case of you want to partake in a lot of those optional items because they can often help significantly. We survived the end of the world, but, right, you know, it's that case of, but at what cost? Well, I guess in this case, now what, right? We survived, but what do we do now that we've survived? We need to thrive. I was expecting there to be a little bit more of an actual cutscene. Oh. Oh. Okay. I know I've seen a little bit of this from the trailers, but that actually looks really nice. I like... So, it looks like we actually have electricity. The old captain is dead. New London is weak. Food is low. Overpopulation looms. Coal is running out. Okay, so I like that it does... Again, a lot of nods. The people yearn for a future worth dreaming of, but is it the same future for all? That, again, keep the city together. The game very much plays on your morality and your ethics, or hold its hand on its deathbed. And it's interesting, right? Because they took that nod towards the coal. Your coal's likely running out. Your city has done well enough, right, that your city's likely going to become overpopulated. So we're not going to unpause, by the way, this day. So if you do want to see me continue playing through the campaign and eventually play some endless modes, let me know down below in the comment section, and I will turn this into an actual series, probably just a mini series or however many missions there are, and we'll just make each mission an episode. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode of Let's Try Frostpunk 2. I know it wasn't the full-blown endless mode, try every little feature, but I feel like it was a good enough assessment of already just some things that I picked up on that I liked, some things that I don't necessarily like. I do wish there was a little bit clearer UI on a few things, but overall I think it's pretty good so far. And either way, I'll probably end up playing this through just to play the game, because I was really looking forward to it and really excited about Frostpunk 1, and now I'm on winter break. I can finally play Frostpunk 2 to its fullest extent. So like I said, if you guys want to see this get turned into a series, let me know down below. I might end up turning it into one regardless, just because I'm going to probably end up playing through it. But if you guys enjoyed, definitely leave a thumbs up on the video, as it helps out with the YouTube algorithm. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, tips, tricks, and anything else under the sun, leave that down below. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one. Peace out.